What's up everybody, I'm Somm here, and today I have another video review planned for you guys. Today, we're going to be exploring one of the wine regions that really got me into wine when I first started drinking more seriously, and that's Chianti. Chianti is located in the northwest of Italy in Tuscany, and it produces more wine than any other region within Italy. Historically, Chiantis are associated with the short, squat bottles that are wrapped in straw baskets called fiascos, but nowadays that's usually a sign of lower quality wines. For better Chiantis, they're usually going to be in a more Cabernet, traditionally Cabernet style bottle like so. There are 8 sub-regions within Chianti, and the 2 biggest or most important ones are the Classico and Rufina. The Classico is the original heartland of Chianti, and growers within this area, if they belong to the consortium of winemakers there, get to put this special black rooster on their label. So if you want a more original or traditional Chianti from the original heartland, I would look for that on the label. The original blend was made in the 19th century by Baron Bettino Ricasoli, and that consisted of 70% Sangiovese, 15% Malvasia, and 15% Canaiolo. However, today, you can see anywhere between 75% and 100% Sangiovese, and those white grape varietals, like Malvasia, are no longer used. There are 4 levels of Chianti. Baseline Chianti has to be aged 3 months in oak and must contain at least 11.5% alcohol. Chianti from the Classico region must be aged at least 7 months in oak and be 12% alcohol. Chianti that gets the Superior designation must be aged at least 9 months in oak and be 12.5% alcohol. And then you also have Chianti Reserva, which must be aged at least 24 months in oak. Now today, we have the 2016 Tenuta Di Sticciano Chianti. This comes in at around an average price of $19 a bottle. It is 13% alcohol, and this particular Chianti is 100% Sangiovese. So let's give it a try. I've been decanting this for around 3 hours, which is a little bit longer than I would normally decant a Sangiovese or a Chianti, but, you know, what are you going to do? In the glass, it has an okay color. It's a little bit lighter than some Chiantis that I've seen, but Chiantis are not always super dark. Actually, they tend to not be compared to some of the Cabernets or like more darker wines, but it's still got good color. Definitely not dark, not too light by any means. It's got a very thick glass coat, hugs the glass. But the legs are a little disjoint. They're not very well defined, and they're kind of moving all over the place. Make a couple notes here. On the nose, I definitely notice right away that very classic Sangiovese smell. I always explain it to my friends as if you took a bunch of plums and then you put it in a sweaty old leather boot and then you leave it out in the sun behind a dumpster for like 3 months. That's kind of what this smells like. I know that sounds terrible, and a lot of you might not want to try a Chianti after I say something like that, but I promise you, it's really intriguing. I remember when I first tried a Sangiovese with some of my friends that I've never tried it before, they were absolutely blown away by the aroma, and they absolutely loved it. So don't be afraid of the stink. The funk is great. I love it. Definitely got that funk. I'm getting some nice cherries as well. This one's got a little bit more fruit than some other Chiantis I've tried, which is nice. I definitely am a fan of that. Definitely getting a little bit of floral characteristics as well. Some rose petal. Yeah, good nose. Now, time to try it. Everyone's favorite time. It's not bad. The front palate reminds me a little bit of like a cherry Kool-Aid. It's a little fake, but not gross in any way. got good mouthfeel. I'm also getting a very interesting banana component on the mid palate to finish, which is very interesting. Okay. The front palate is not super intriguing. There's a good mouthfeel. I definitely get a little bit of front mouth tannin from the skin of the grapes, but it's definitely not as exciting as the mid palate or the finish. The mid palate has good acidity. I get a little bit of like that banana component that I'm getting. I'm also getting a little bit of like cinnamon, probably from the oak. That actually has a really interesting component. It's almost like eating like a banana flambe, or if you make some sort of a banana like Foster dessert type thing. Like that's kind of what I'm getting. It's really interesting. Even after decanting for 3 hours, it still has some relatively medium to firm tannins, but they're sweet. They're not bitter. So I would definitely say you're going to want to decant this one. A couple more notes here. So after looking at my notes and reviewing everything that I've looked at here, I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 4 stars. I think it performs pretty well in most areas. The glass form is a little off, so I have to take something away from that. And the front palate is not too exciting, but that is kind of typical of Chiantis. I feel like they're often overshadowed by their mid palates and their finishes. The mid palate and the finish is very interesting. It has very good mouth structure, very good mouth feel, and the finish is very long lasting. I can still taste it even now. I get a lot of good secondary characteristics, some good fruit, and definitely the oak is not overpowering in any way. I'm going to say this is a very well-made Chianti, and for around $19 a bottle, might be a little bit more than I would like to pay for some of the other Chiantis that you can find. So I can't necessarily give this a buy, but I'm definitely going to give this a try at 4 stars. And if you don't really care about the money, it's only a couple more dollars than a lot of other Chiantis you're going to find. This is something that you might want to pick up to try. So with all that being said, go out and try this wine, and have a great day, guys. Am Somm.